Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nizati Hidayah and my metric number is 252662. So, I will start the presentation with introduction to CAATs. First of all, what is CAATs stand for? CAATs stand for Computerized Assisted Audit Tools and Techniques. CAATs can be defined as any use of technology to assist in the completion of an audit, including automated working papers and traditional word processing applications, or the use of certain software that can be used by the auditor to perform audits and to achieve the goals of auditing. There is 4 broad categories of CAATs. First, data analysis software. Second, network security evaluation software or utilities. Third, operating system and database management system security evaluation software or utilities. And fourth, software and code testing tools. There are a few examples of CAATs, including generalized audit software, customized queries or scripts, utility software, software tracing and mapping, and lastly, audit expert system. Next, we will proceed to the using CAATs. In performing audit procedures, there are a few uses of CAATs. First, test of details of transaction and balance. Second, analytical review procedures. Third, compliant test of IS general controls. Fourth, compliant test of IS application controls. And lastly, penetration testing. In determining whether to use CAAT, there are a few factors that need to be considered. It is computer knowledge, expertise and experience of the IS auditors, availability of suitable CAATs and IS facilities, efficiency and effectiveness of using CAATs over manual techniques, time constraint, integrity of the information system and IT environment, and lastly, level of audit risk. Next, there are 8 CAATs planning steps. First, set the audit objective of the CAATs. Second, the IS auditor need to determine the accessibility and availability of organization, facility, system and data. Third, clearly understand composition of data to be processed. Fourth, define the procedure to be taken. Fifth, define output requirement. Sixth, determine resource requirement. Seventh, obtain access to the organization IS facility, system and data. And lastly, the document CAATs that will be used. Next, how the IS auditor use CAATs in performing their audit works? I will take a few from here. First, for general audit software, the IS auditor need to involve in system design and techniques that should be developed and maintained within the organization's application system. Then, for utility software, the IS auditor need to confirm that no unpaid intervention has taken during processing. He also need to confirm that the utility software has been obtained from the appropriate system library. And for the audit expert system, the IS auditor need to analyze the flow of data through the processing logic of the application software and document the logic, path, control condition and processing sequence. Lastly, there are a few CAATs documentation. For planning, the documentation should have CAATs objective, CAATs to be used, control to be used, staffing and timing. For execution, documentation should have CAATs preparation and testing procedure and controls, detail of the tests performed by the CAATs, detail of inputs, testing periods, processing and outputs, listing of relevant parameters or source code. And lastly, for audit evidence, documentation needed is output produced, description of the audit analysis work performed on the output, audit finding, audit conclusions, and audit recommendation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to Dr. Haslinda and also my fellow friends. My name is Afika Sharina binti Afendi. My metric number is 252650 and I will proceed with the next subtopic, which is 4.3 Audit Productivity Software. So it's Audit Productivity Software. So audit productivity software is the tools used by the IS auditors to monitor their productivity by automating the auditing function and reduce the amount of time the IS auditor spends on their administrative tasks. Audit productivity software also include electronic working papers, groupware, engagement management, reference libraries, and also document management. So these are several examples of audit productivity software. So the first one is the electronic working papers. So electronic working papers is used to automate the auditing process and allow the IS auditor to import their client's financial information, such as trial balance. Electronic working papers also has the ability to import information from the client's legacy system, export data to Excel for quick analysis, and also to facilitate information sharing. Moving on to the groupware. So a groupware is the specialized tool that allows the IS auditor to increase the productivity by using the files sharing between the IS auditor and the client. Groupware also used to assist the IT auditor in the planning, IS auditor in the planning and preparation stages of the audit through the use of programs that provide a multi-user calendar, scheduling, and file sharing. Next, we move to the next subtopic, 4.4 Generalized Audit Software Tools. So, Generalized Audit Software Tools is software designed to read, process, and write data with the help of a function in performing the specific audit routines. It is used to analyze data to find the anomalies, errors, and omissions, and also used in gathering audit evidence. So, data anomalies is the problem that can occur in poorly planned, unnormalized database where all the data is stored in one table. So, Generalized Audit Software Tools is one of the tools the IS auditor used to obtain audit evidence directly on the quality of the records produced and maintained by the application system. So, Generalized Audit Software Tools consists of a series of computer program routines that can read computer files, select desired information, perform repetitive calculation, and also print reports in an audited specified format. These software tools enables IS auditor to have an access to computerized records and to deal effectively with large quantity of data. And then moving on to the function of generalized audit software. So the first one is the file reorganization, selection, arithmetic, and file creation and update. So as you can see here, this is the explanation for each of the function of generalized audit software. So audit tasks that can be accomplished using generalized audit software tools is the IS auditor can examine the quality of data, the quality of system processes, the existence of the entities, and also IS auditor can undertake analytical review. Next, we move to the example of generalized audit software tools. So we have two examples here, which is the audit command language or ECL, and the other one is the interactive data extraction and analysis, which is IDEA. So as for ACL, ACL is a data analysis software that helps IS auditor remain current changing with the technology. So ACL has the ability to perform analysis and audit tests on 100% of the data available rather than just test the sampling data. Then moving on to the IDEA. IDEA is a leading e-audit data analytics software package. So IDEA provides audit, finance, and compliance professionals in industry and practice with an efficient and effective solution for high-performance audit. So I think that's all for my part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone. My name is Abdul Hakim Siddiq bin Muhammad Suhaimi, and today I'm going to continue with the presentation to present about computerized assisted IS audit techniques. So we as an IS auditor, we also have to obtain sufficient evidence to achieve the audit objectives effectively. But then we also need to remember that in 2020, I think most of the company doesn't have the financial data or the financial transactions in paper form anymore, because now that everything is computerized, so everything will be stored inside the computer. So it is actually a challenge for us IS auditor to how to access those files and also how to access those data inside their computers, and from there how do we obtain such evidence for our audit. So if we refer back to our CISA notes that the lecturer gave us on page 36, IS auditor required to obtain sufficient, relevant, and useful evidence to achieve audit objectives efficiently during the course of an audit. So, computer assisted audit techniques are important tools for the IS auditor in gathering information from these environments. CAATs enable IS auditors in performing audits to gather information independently. So, previously in Audit 2, we learned that every auditor knows about what CAATs is, but not every auditor actually have the knowledge on how to run the CAATs or what to understand from the result that what CAATs have processed. So this is where we as an IS auditor have to step up our game. So this is the types of tools and techniques of CAATs, which is generalized audit software or GAS, utility software, debugging and scanning software, test data, application software tracing and mapping, and also expert system. So I will explain about some of the types of tools and techniques of CAATs in the next slides. GAS refers to a standard software that has the capability to directly read and access data from various database platforms, flat file systems, and also ASCII formats. We actually have done this before in our previous semester, which is when we learned Audit 2, we also learned about SEL, remember? So if you remember back our SEL task, remember that we are going to transfer the Excel file, which containing the invoice data of a certain company into the SEL. So what SEL did is that it can easily access to the Excel file and transfer all the data that is contained in the Excel file into the SEL, so that we can use the function of SEL into the data. Like what our lecturer said, she can actually find the duplicate data inside the Excel within just 2 seconds, which is very simple and very easy. So GAS provides IS auditor an independent means to gain access to data for analysis and the ability to use high-level problem-solving software to invoke functions to be performed on data files. So in this list, this is actually few of the features that includes in the generalized audit software, and these are the functions that is supported by generalized audit software, which is file access, file reorganization, data selection, statistical function, and also arithmetical function. So if you look back to file access, just like how I explained before, we actually inserted the invoice data from an Excel file. So we don't actually need a proper or specific ACL file for us to conduct the software, but then we can also transfer the file just from an Excel file. So ACL actually have the capability to access different record formats and also file structure. So next, besides generalized audit software, there is also a utility software, which is the subset of software. And utility software actually provides evidence to the auditors about system control effectiveness. And besides from utility software, there is also a test data, which involves the auditors using sample set of data to assess whether logic errors exist in the program and whether the program meets its objectives. So test data is also important tools and techniques that is provided by CAATs. And the review of an application system will provide information about internal controls built in the system. And the audit expert system will give direction and valuable information to all levels of auditors while carrying out the audit, because the query-based system is built on the knowledge based on the senior auditors or managers. So from all the types of tools and techniques that are actually included in CAATs, so what we can proceed with the tools and techniques that we can perform these audit procedures, which is test of details of transaction and balances, analytical review procedures, compliance tests of IS general controls, compliance tests of IS application controls, and also penetration and OS vulnerability assessment testing. So that's all from me. Moving on to the next part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to Dr. Haslinda and also my fellow friends. My name is Shamil Azlin. My metric number 252624. I will continue my group's presentation on the last subtopic, which is on 4.6 continuous auditing techniques. What is continuous auditing? So here I've provided you the definition according to CISA or AICPA. From this definition, in short, we can say that continuous auditing is a method used to perform control and risk assessment automatically on frequent basis. Here is the major few differences that we can see from traditional auditing and continuous auditing. For the first one is about the timing, the second one is about the procedures used, and then the relation of internal auditor and external auditor, and then the nature, timing, and extent, and then the testing used, and the stages. For the number 5, continuous auditing, it is said that it use of data analytics for testing. Here in this data analytics, we use few techniques. Here is the information regarding continuous auditing. Continuous auditing, it focuses on assessing the occurrence of risk and the effectiveness of the control made, and we find for the opportunities for improvement. It is a structure and clear processes are important to allow such an approach alongside with the technologies that will be made. The third one, continuous auditing is not designed to replace traditional auditing, but instead it just to be used as a means of improving audit technique and effectiveness in executing such standard audit procedures. And the last one, continuous auditing cannot replace the judgment and discretion of an auditor, since auditor understand more about the context of processes and how it relates to the metrics and assessment that will be made. So here is the 3 main techniques that can be used for continuous auditing to substantially reduce the time taken, to detect possible process weaknesses. Sorry if you can't see here in the video, but you can have a look at the slides that we provide. So the first one is about binary check. The second one is identifying outlier. And the third one is look at the trends. For the first one, binary check. Binary check, it is used to determine the effectiveness of control taken. This includes do a system check, which is to check whether the system was done according to policy set or predetermined requirement. So here is the example that I provide. You can have a look at the last here. When there is at least as many as the policy requires, that means the control made is working. So here in binary check, it is just used to determine the effectiveness of control taken. Here you can have a look. So the second one is identifying outlier. When we say about outlier, it is a numerical value which substantially different from what one would predict. So here is the example for the travel reimbursement to employees made by the companies. You can read. So in this situation, it does not mean there is something wrong happen, but this is a signal that an auditor shall look at the transaction made for the reimbursement that are above 5,000 ringgit. So that is what an outlier do. So the last one is look at the trends. Since technology has made data analysis fast and effective, so continuous audits able to keep track of trends. Using our previous example, here you can have a look that the average travel reimbursement went from 2,000 to 2,500 in a year. So, whatever the cost of the rise in average travel expenses, by knowing the trends or patterns, this will help the companies to reduce the cost. So that is the end for our topic. If you have any question, you can leave at the comment sections, and we will try to answer it during our real-time class at WebEx. So, thank you.